What up, it's your boy Stefan with the Master of Me podcast. Master of Me? Hey, my man. What do you mean master? How do you become master of anything? You tell me. You focus all of your energy on one thing. One thing, man.
Are we freestyling right now?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yo.
Man, this is the third time I've done this podcast. This is time number 3. Number 1, no one will ever know about the value, the experience, the magic, I will say, that happened. The energy that was on that episode was so fire, so live for an hour long. And this was the time, like, in COVID where everyone started using Zoom. And
dude,
during that, I didn't know, like, what subscription plan you needed or what. And I didn't have the ability to record longer than 15 minutes. So I have the beginning and everything that happened in the middle and end that left on a high note.
dog, I totally forgot about this.
Dude.
Oh my God.
And they say, like, people don't remember what you said. They remember the way you made them feel.
Exactly.
And I know that I just felt lit after that. And, like, the next one we got on, it was, oh, man, it was trying to tell the story like I am right now. But at the same time, like, that was just a once-in-a-lifetime experience that, like, you'll never get back.
Oh, my God. I totally forgot about that, too. Because you dropped the story yesterday.
Right.
You're like, I've had this man on 3 times. And I was like, I remember the one time, like, and then you posted the video. I was like, nah. 3 times, like, oh, maybe I did. I don't know. But now I do remember because we dropped some absolute bars. And it's like, dude, it didn't record. It was like, oh.
And you know what happened, too? I think you were doing an initiative for, what was it, Boots to Ground or Warriors, Heroes?
Oh, Men of Purpose.
Men of Purpose. Men of Purpose.
In my early days, yeah.
Early days, Men of Purpose. And I just felt like a spirit to, like, shave my beard. And this is COVID when everything's rugged.
Yeah.
So I happen to be, like, I happen to go to barber school, so I have a fresh pair of clippers, like, ready to roll. I just plug them in and just shave my beard on the spot. It was November.
Yeah.
And it was that time to, like...
Oh, the Movember, yeah.
Movember,
yep,
yeah. Shave my beard on the camera, and it just... The energy was high. That was a legit one.
Dude, that was a great conversation.
That was good. You know what? But it also got me excited about podcasting in itself. Like, although that at-bat was, like, it felt like a strikeout, but it also felt like, all right, if I did it once, I can do it again.
Listen, dude, all right, so you and I talked about this. This is why you should have started recording the second I got here.
Dude, I don't know why I do that sometimes. I get scared. I'm
just like record.
Just do it. Don't think.
No,
just
think.
fucking do it. Yeah.
So you look at anyone who's dropped projects recently, right? And the person I keep going back to is Dochi. Right. By the way, if you have not come across her album, do yourself the favor because it's absolute bars and fire. Anyways, so she's done a really good job at bringing people into the surface of what it looks like to have the background into the artistic process. And so, like, she has a whole YouTube channel that's accessible to everyone. And now she's a Grammy winner, right? So, like, you look at her process and, like, she's dropped different projects where it's just like, I'm just going to share with my communities. So I would push back and say, like, it was not a strikeout because you're just going through a creative and artistic evolution, dude.
Right.
Like, I'm reminded of that all the time. And, like, for me, the biggest thing that I'm learning about that is my process is my process. And there's ownership in that, which I think is pretty fucking dope if you think about it.
Right. Same could be with, like a Disney artist or something like that. Like, how many characters have they created that could have been a hit that weren't, but at the same time, the ones that they did were still the big ones.
And all you need is one.
Right.
All you need is, like, one person to be listening.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
I'm inspired by the stories of, like, Tyler, the Creator, who found his videographer on YouTube. Right. So he was like, I'm looking through this and, like, this dude has 7 views. And I'm like, wow, this shit is fire. Reach out to him. Was like, hey, do you want to come out and do some work together? If it's trash, don't worry about it. Like, you get a free trip to LA. But if it's dope, I would like to have you on. And now, like, the dude does all of his creative stuff for Tyler. And I'm just reminded of those stories because you just, like, never know who is listening or who you're going to impact. And, like, that piece right there, I think, is like the creme de la creme of what the creative process looks like.
100%. And I like the fact that the videographer was willing to go out there and put in the legwork without being like, what's in it for me? Like too heavy.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of people can get caught up on thinking that they got a big fish or a big bite on hand and try to bite too early versus like put out the value first and even see if it pops.
Yeah.
Like build the evidence first that this is the path. You may not even want to work with that guy. Like big or not, like if that dude's going to be famous and could take you, like you still, like if you have to jeopardize your life for it, like you may not be willing to. But people willing to put in the work and then like they get the evidence. I think there's a part of ownership of like, I earned that. Like I deserve that. Like this is why I pour into it. It wasn't because there was a condition of money attached to it. Yeah. Right. Which is, and we were talking about that right when we started. Again, camera should have been rolling, but
I'm looking at your setup right now. All right. So for the community here, if you've not gone to the Beat Lab here,
right.
Dude, everything that I'm seeing here is all growth to me. Right. Like, this is dope as hell. You're inspiring me with my own, like, home office right now. Like, this looks dope as fuck right now.
And that's exciting because we talk through mics and we talk through stuff. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think this might be the second time we've actually seen each other in person.
Right. I think the first time was probably at Guild Mortgage, running through there between, like, Chris and John. That era.
Chris and John.
Yeah, I had John on the podcast. I've had Chris on a podcast too. Like they're all unique. Every single one of them are like they're different and
some good quotables.
Yeah. And there's always like you're gonna get bars that have been accumulated. It's crazy though. Like I'll hear stuff that like I'll take my own like my credit because we've talked about it in a room.
Yeah.
And then I'll bring them back and they're still using the same stuff. And it's like it reminds me that like to keep pouring into what I believe, because it's gonna impact whether I'm the throne taker or not. I think, and that's helped me see my vision in life too of not needing credit for things. It's more of being the bridge, and if I can be the bridge from a person to A to B, and if they saw a perspective different, and now it's impacting them to keep using it, and this is 5 years later, then that means the stuff that I work on is impactful because I spend time. I write on things. I go over it.
I was going to ask, do you write these things out? Because I think of like the elite bar spitters in the game right now, and the first person I think of is Jalen Hurts.
Right.
Any of his interviews are just straight bars, like every single time when he's done, and he's like, I know you like that one. It was like money is good, but championships are better. And I'm like, oh, God dang.
It's like you can't get caught up in the weeds when there's no weeds. Like, it was just straight to the point. Like, you just found the path. And that was the exact answer. And I think it keeps it simple. Like, it's just straight to the point of you don't have to question, go justify. This is the way I see it. And boom. And, like, people appreciate that certainty. Don't you? Like, when you hear it, you're like, oh, man, I don't even know what to say. There's not even a follow-up question to it. Like, you just stick to you, and then it goes to you. I think those are impactful.
Yeah.
So I guess they could get overused if you're just bar after bar after bar after bar. But at the same time, like there is, because you lose your opinion, right? Like if you like the way you can communicate it different to connect to people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, some of those are just needed. Like stop thinking, and this is why. Boom.
That's where I kind of think again, dude. Shout out to your setup right now. Like this is growth. Like I'm so happy for you. It's well deserved. Like this is the growth pattern. I really love creators that, especially when they're working with clients and things like that, where the relationship with the client is like, hey, I really enjoy these conversations. Do you mind if I take some quotables from it? And I feel like I say my like best stuff when I'm just like face to face with the client or face to face with someone where we're just sort of creating a brainstorm, because those pieces are incredibly influential. Because if I sit down, write it out, sometimes it just feels scripted.
Right.
Like I said, I just wanted to become a freestyle.
I like that. So going into like sitting and writing things, it's not necessarily like that for me. It's more of me being vulnerable. And as I'm vulnerable, stuff comes out naturally. And when it comes out naturally, like how it relates to me in my life, then it sticks longer, and then I reuse it because that's the way that I see it. It's the way that I believe it.
Yeah.
And by that, like it has a stronger attachment to me. It's part of my being, like at that point, versus me just trying to use something. Yeah. So everything that I'm communicating is usually stuff that I've been through personal development, through rough times in life, through that, and then I found a meaning to it. And once I found a meaning and created a new meaning to a painful story in my life, then those are the ones that just they keep coming back for me. Like when you were talking about money, this is how we're diving back to that now. Money with the relationship with money, on why people lose money. I could see we were talking about Soldier Boy, we were talking about like people who can lose money in general, right? And it's because for me it was money brought struggle, it brought pain in my family. It brought fighting, really, and fighting brought a lot of trauma to my life that has really impacted me at one time in a negative way. And now, like, I get to be courageous in high-voiced moments where I start to feel scared, because it never goes away. It always comes back to where if a conversation gets heated, or the guy next door, I heard him yelling one time it sounded like his wife on a Saturday or something like that, and I started to panic. Yeah. And I was like, man, I gotta go tell him something. Like, I felt like I had to go. Yeah, that's how I felt. But I felt like it took over me working, and it was going back to those roots of where I heard it from with my parents, and me going to hide, which is also a blessing. Like, if you're finding every blessing, is when I ran to my neighbor's house. My neighbor was a music producer, and so I sat underneath his desk afraid while he had clients in there. Yeah. And so when my parents would come, like, he would just shoo them off, and I'd stay hidden like behind him. Like he's good. And so they knew that I was with him, and he would have people like he was recording for, and he's using Pro Tools, what I use now. Yeah. And I didn't learn that until I just sat with him, and he just put me on task. And I was like, man, if I didn't have that like traumatic experience, then I wouldn't have what I use now in my everyday life. Like, it is the way that I do it, and it sounds the best to me. It's the most natural to me. It's also part of, like, I feel like I need to set up. We're talking about like a studio, like, so that way I can get more audio in there and incorporate more audio into my life. Like, it's just it feels attached to me.
Wow, bro, that seed right there, I think, is so fucking special.
It's a trip.
Like, you know, I think all of us to some degree have experienced a level of pain that we don't love talking about unless there's like safety in the room, right? And I think, like, shout out to those like people in your lives that were like there. Right. Maybe they didn't sign up, or maybe they didn't know they were going to become a huge part of your life, but like, straight up, like, shout out to those people, because it sounds like in so many ways like this person has inspired you. And like, dude, I can tell.
I'm actually in, like, Ismael Barajas is his name. He was a classical and flamenco. He still is a classical and flamenco guitar player. Like, the best fingers in town. Like, not even in town. Like, he's got pictures with Stevie Wonder. Like, he's worked for Capitol Records for a long time. And I've never really told him. Like, I don't know if I really told him, like, thank you.
You
so
should.
if he randomly hears this, like, just know that it impacted my life like that deep.
Can I challenge you live on this pod right now?
I would
hit him up and say thank you.
Oh my, on the phone?
Yeah, for real. Because, like, think about it. I mean, how old are you?
Man, I am 36. I don't know what I thought about. I was thinking about how am I going to call him with my phone on camera, like, right now. So I was working through the process.
I mean, I wouldn't say like now, but if you want to, that'd actually be pretty dope.
I know how deep we were going. That was I mean,
hey, I'm open to it, dude. Hey, this is your pod, dog. Like, I'm just here. I don't know. So, like, I'm 39. I'm noticing now that I've always been like the sage advice, or like the person for my 4 younger siblings. But even now, as a dietitian, I'm noticing that during the times where I'm just like pouring into young dietitians who are like coming up, it's just me just like, yo, I love your vibe. You seem dope. I had some mentors in my life that I was really thankful for that maybe didn't understand everything that I wanted to do, but I'm actually understanding what you want to do. And I'm just like, give them my time. And when they come back and they're like, dude, like, thank you so much. Like, it actually feels good, because it's a reciprocal relationship in that way. But then I do take a step back where I'm like, damn, I didn't really do this to like be a mentor to them. I just thought the vibe was dope and I just want to like help you out. But okay, like, they're going to take that, and that's going to be a core memory for them as they build their career. So you've essentially built yours because of Ishmael. Like, right, dude.
100%.
Shout out.
100%. I think, like, it's a trip that everything happens for a reason. I think people get put in your life for a reason, like that kind of concept, or whatever it is you're doing to attract people. Like, who would have known that that would have been the music to my heart to pull me that way?
Yeah.
And it goes like into what we're doing now is we're attracting people into our lives, and it's more of like how can I get, or like from a taker's mentality, it's like how can I attract more of those clients, more of those people I need to help, more of those people who need to hear me, like through all the sources of how I help and be of value to people here. And so it's a constant like, all right, I have to keep my mindset on a growth mindset.
Yeah.
So that way I can be the best version of me, because I don't know when the opportunity is going to come up. And like you said, if it takes that one listener and then I get that one podcast invite, and then that's the one that changes my life.
Yeah.
That's my Tyler the Creator moment.
Yeah.
In there.
Yeah.
It's powerful. Ladies and gentlemen, Dezi Abeyta in the house. Welcome to the intro.
That's the way it needs to be, actually. Like, that was perfect.
All the time, man. I love the energy of this man. It is one of those things, I just hit the nail on the head, and I've never like actually patted myself on the back in the moment, but that was it. Dezi has been attracted into my life. I've been attracted into his life enough to where we see each other, and it's game recognized game. And it's like, all right, you get that. Because the more he puts out content, the more I'm inspired to put out content. The more he sticks to his craft and does his game, I'm inspired that when it gets tough, to stick to my craft and stay in the game, because no matter what the economy is like, no matter what is going on in the world, people need to continue to grow and get better. So, Dezi, thank you for being here.
Dude, I'm actually really, really happy about our intro right now.
That's good. That is good.
It was an organic intro from one podcaster to another. Like, that was fire.
Right. That's where it's at, man. I'm gonna go find that moment all the time.
Yeah.
Right, how can I find it here?
Just bullshit, and then
that is it. And then it feels like, I don't know about you, but I feel good and warm. Like it. There's no.
See, that's why when people come on to mine, like I just press record because I want those moments.
Right.
So I'm glad we recreated it.
100%. That was it. And that's just a testament that like it doesn't have to be. Like, even if you think the moment was that one or that one or that one, like you can always find it again, right? It's like a running back. Like if you don't get one hole, you got to find another one. Like you just got to keep going.
Just keep going
until you find the rhythm.
Put your head down and go.
100%.
I'm about to hit you, dog.
Dude, speaking of running backs, what has been your experience of like mindset and the athlete's world? So your expertise is more into the dietitian side, so eating what you're consuming, putting in your body. That right there, I think is, I would say by our nation, has been slept on the most. Like, there's a lot of theories I've heard of, conspiracy theories and stuff like that like, or the pyramid on, on what pays the way. Like
there's a lot, dude.
100% to it, but I feel like it's the system. It's not what we think it's supposed to be. Like, we're not supposed to be just drinking gallons of milk all day and eating.
I mean, shout out to you if you are. All right, so there was two pieces in there that I think are important to tackle. So I think in regards to just globally what's happening with nutrition and performance, like that's a whole conversation itself that we can absolutely get into. Going back to the running back piece, as you were pointing out, so I'm a performance dietitian, so I've worked in professional sports. I recently worked with all of our Red Bull athletes who are 170 plus sports, or 700 athletes across 170 different disciplines. So like I've had access to like all of these gangster athletes. So you look at people who, the quintessential like Red Bull athlete who's, hitting a half pipe on a freaking on a hot air balloon.
Right.
And then you look at, obviously we just got done with the Paris, or the Paris Olympics rather. And then you look at like the break dancers that are doing their thing. Like it kind of stretches. So I feel like nutrition and performance is one of the things inside of the field that is incredibly important. Like, we know what the science says, we know how important it is.
Right.
But even at the same time, like, what I'm finding, even in professional sports, is it's valued, but it's not valued in a monetary sense. Like, they want you as a part of the performance staff. Right. It's incredibly important, because if you look at running backs now, if you look at just the longevity of the athlete, I mean, why the fuck is Braun doing what he's doing at 40? And by the time like Jordan went to the Wizards, like everyone wants to have this GOAT debate, which I understand it. But when Jordan went to the Wizards, like those are his last years, and Braun was still finding his prime in those years, and now he's averaging more than he was in his MVP season. Like his stats are better. It goes back to longevity. Right. And I think each and every one of us who are in our career are at some point have already hit our peak or will hit our peak. We want to be thinking about longevity.
Right.
Because if you can continue to show up in that special type of way and perform at your best, you have to be thinking about what you're putting in your body. You have to be thinking about how you sleep, how you move, and then also how you think from a mental performance standpoint. So like going back to your original question of like, what are your thoughts on the running back right now? Like it goes back to longevity.
Right.
Because those dudes get pummeled.
Right. Right. I could imagine it also ties into what I'm working on right now as far as being a dad and an athlete. Like I still push after, like I signed up to wrestle in the open. Like hopefully I can place or do something just because my kids are there and I want them to see. So like it feels good, but at the same time, like I pulled back off CrossFit a little bit as far as like the heavy weights. So that way I can start trimming down. And I'm starting to feel different to where like when I'm old, like my goal is to play golf as many days as I can and just run other old people up for their money.
Yeah.
You know, every day and hang out there on the golf course. Like it's a peace and happy place for me.
Yeah.
And that time when it comes, I still want to be like active and fit and performing to where my back's not thrown out and it's not a pain in the butt when I get there. Because if that's my like closest to heaven that I'm gonna get, like in my mind while I'm here, like that is, I still want to enjoy it, and I don't want to be hurting and have to go to the doctor every day and stuff like that. And I'm gonna have possibly grandkids at that time. And what you were talking about is being able to perform longer. Like I still want those kids to run into my arms, me be able to squat down, pick them up, like with love, and not be thinking about like, oh man, I'm about to throw something out or back them up, because then they think something's wrong with them, and then I'm putting them through this whole like.
No, bro. Yeah. Like I think from a dad perspective, let me speak to the dads real quick. Let's talk about longevity.
Right.
I'm in a era or chapter in my life at 39 where I want to become the most elite athlete that I've ever been.
Right.
Because I always joke, like my brothers and I.
Third leg in life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm oldest of 5. Right. I got 3 younger brothers and a sister. So we always joke where I'm like, I want my 2 kids to understand what it feels like to compete. Right. So I'm going to stay ready from the standpoint of whatever we do, I'm going to whoop your ass your whole life when it comes to hooping, when it comes to racing.
Right.
Like I want to stay ready from that sense of if we want to go hike 8 miles today, I'm ready. If we want to go run a 10K right now, I'm ready. If we want to go hoop, I'm ready. If we want to go run routes, like I'm ready. So like I just think I'm in a state right now where I'm doing all these things just to honestly stay ready, because I don't know about you. Obviously, when we get to certain ages, things tend to slow down. But even from the standpoint of like what the science says, like your metabolism doesn't slow down.
Right.
There's nothing that slows down.
Right.
What does slow down is your activity.
Right.
And that's what kills people's metabolism. That's what changes people's bodies.
Right.
Is you stop moving.
You're putting in more than you're
exactly
you're
right.
out.
So I think to a larger degree, like if any of us are chasing longevity, it has to be about how you prepare, how you perform, and how you recover.
Right.
It's the same thing we teach athletes, and it's honestly the same thing that each and every one of us should be thinking about each and every day.
Right. It's tough because I think to unravel on that, like I'm glad that we're thinking about it, because it goes back into like, all right, think about what you're thinking about and why you're thinking about it. And the reason why I said it like that is because like I want to get in shape, right? So I'll go healthy for a set period of time. Then I'll hit whatever date is on my calendar, and then I let loose for 3 weeks, and then there's a chance I'm back to square one from there. And I'm back to inflammation, or even I change my mentality and I want to be strong, but in order to be strong, I have to be thicker.
Yeah.
And if I'm thicker, then I can put up more weight. And it could, going back to like what I believe about it, right? Like I saw my dad was a heavy set dude, like a gorilla. The dude was like 5'10", like he wore a size 13. His knuckles were 2 sizes bigger than mine, and like he was just a really big dude. And like he ate more, like everything. So when I get in this mentality that I need to get stronger for something else I have coming up, then I start bulking or eating more. But really what's happening is like subconsciously I'm going into comfort places because I feel safer if I'm thicker, like I won't get hurt.
Yeah.
Which I'm afraid of getting hurt is the problem. And going back to the trauma, going back to those places, like I'm afraid of what that feels like, of going back to that place. But I got to keep in mind like why I'm thinking about that so I can address and know that I'm safe and I'm going to be okay. So that way I can still lift what I want to lift and be trim at the same time. Like, and that's important for me to pay attention to, because if not, I play this game of and I got to do this or that, versus I can hit my weight goals and be strong at the same time. And so it sounds easy, but really what it's coming back to for me is a fear of getting hurt. And if I get hurt, then I'll go down the pattern that my dad did. And like I'm seeing it trauma from all those angles, not just from the food, but from when he got hurt is when his body started to deteriorate. His mind, like he would always say, "You'll never beat me, son, because it's in my mind. Like, it's in the mind, son." And when his mind started letting go of that mentality, he started letting go too. Yeah. And it was 54 when he died. And like it just went.
So he did pass?
He did pass away, and it went that fast. And speaking of this width, look at the width of his back. Like, he was just a bigger dude. And he's leaning over, so he's way taller than me. I had high heels on. That's my wedding. Yeah. I had those shoes that go a little higher. So like my wife's 5'10".
Dude, that's a beautiful pick, man.
Yeah, I brought that out. But I think it's...
dads are...
so impactful.
They are. I love the... shout out to my pops.
Yes.
Not a perfect man, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Not a perfect man, but a loving man, and someone who did the best that he could with what he had, and continuing to work on himself. Like
what he said, Dad. What he said.
Yeah. Right. So like I think we're a fear-based species.
It's interesting.
It's interesting as a performance dietitian who's worked with some of the best athletes, some of the best artists. There's no difference in how people operate because right now, what is really hard in the field is that there's a lot of, and let's go back to like your original question, I can answer that here, is like if we look at the state of nutrition and some of the misinformation, some of the disinformation out there. So before we get there, we need to discuss the differences between the two because we see it all the fucking time.
Right.
So disinformation is when someone purposefully sends out inaccurate information to hurt people, right? Misinformation is the person that was creating the message got something wrong in the research, or maybe they weren't updated on the research, right? I think perfect example of probably what we're seeing this right now is the rise of the fear around seed oils, or the rise of the amazing benefits of raw milk and only drinking raw milk. Both classic examples of something that skates the line between misinformation and disinformation. So to the normal person who is thinking about like, oh my God, like I want to be here. Let's just talk to the dads, right? I'm a dad. The dad that's like, damn, I just got my lipid levels back. My cholesterol is way fucking high. My LDL is high. Like I'm at heart attack risk. Like I want to be healthy. And then you see yourself scrolling like, raw milk is the savior of everything. It's like, well, I should go get myself some raw milk. Without talking to a dietitian, like if you come to me and say that, well, the first things first is like, no, you need pasteurized milk. They solved that issue of people getting sick and dying a long time ago. That's why we have pasteurized milk.
Right.
And secondly, instead of going the full fat, maybe we go 2% or skim, because saturated fat are the things that are going to actually add to your blood cholesterol, which is causing the problem. So like if you talk to a dietitian, you would get that education. But if you're kind of just going through, you're like, well, I should do these things because I'm healthy. But like I said, we're a fear-based species. It's so hard when I see this on social media where they're like, this is easy. You should just be doing these things, calories in, calories out.
Right.
I always laugh because I'm like, okay, well, what you're saying is true. But there's a lot of nuance when it comes to this, because to your point, your relationship with performance, exercise, and food has been getting away from injury risk, right? To me, what my biggest fear has been was honestly like losing what I would view as like my biggest asset, which is my athleticism and my speed. Like, dude, I'm 5'6", 180. Like all through my athletic career, I was 5'6", like maybe 140, 150. Like I was a small dude. The only thing that I had was my speed and athleticism. So even now at 39, like I'm not really competing for anything huge, but you know what? Like I actually feel my best when I feel like I can do anything with my body. And my body looks different than it did when I was in my heyday.
Right.
And at the same time, the reasons why I stay active and do these things, because I don't want to lose that. Like I really value those pieces about myself. And I also want to teach my kids too how to have confidence with their body as well. And it's not even about how their body looks, but how they feel in their body.
Right.
Which I think in itself is really cool. I got almost a 9-year-old and almost a 3-year-old. Seeing them sort of figure out their body, I think is one of the coolest things ever.
I'm so glad that we're here on this spot, and it's just weird how it all tees up, right? And I like how you can draw back to questions too.
Yeah.
Like that is, and then it makes sense now. So the household, there's people. Well, I got it on a question here from a person too on like what can.
Oh, dope.
Yeah. So I asked a question yesterday on Instagram and I got some answers. So I have a couple questions there. But one of the common themes I was seeing was, how do you have the conversation around like not eating too much to get fat? And I say it like that because now that strikes a chord, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't want to get fat or unhealthy or like, so I'm in a household full of girls. Like what I say and how I say it is important.
100%, bro.
And to them too, because they're meaning-making machines right now at 9 and 5, and they're making meanings of the world. And if I say it a certain way, they might think that I think that about them versus looking out for the longevity for their body. Like I'm using what I've learned and I'm trying to pass it down. Like if I do anything wrong, it's more of misinformation based off whatever I got in my book right now, of being able to teach. So what could be helpful as far as communicating to the kids or leading by example on what to eat in the house? So I guess we can go to a plate, on a dinner plate, on what should that look like during the week?
Yeah. All right. Let me see if I can tackle this from a couple different things. So last time you and I spoke, I think we had a conversation because it was during the pandemic. So the TED Talk that I did had just happened. Right. And so for the listeners out there who aren't OGs, who listened to the last pod, I had this amazing opportunity to drop a TED Talk, which was a bucket list item for me. It was like one of the coolest things I had ever done. Like imagine. I put it on my on my like life goals, if you will, and within a year of me writing it down, like it happened. So listen, there's power in writing down your goals and talking about it. So the whole premise of the whole TED Talk was, I'm supposed to be this food expert, and I couldn't feed my kid. Right. And so I talked about the complexities of the feeding relationship when it comes to dads and kids and how we see that in diet culture. And I found that parallel, right? So in that talk, Steph, I was talking about how there's a give and take relationship between parents and children where you provide the food and so you're responsible for, as parents, like what the food that you provide, right? The kids are responsible for whether or not they're willing to eat it and how much they're willing to eat. We don't want to get in the way of that, right? So that was back in 2019. Now it's 2025. So you're asking me now, like, how do you feed your kids and how do you establish a healthy relationship with food? I'm still finding that I'm still working through that because there are still moments. And so my wife and I met doing eating disorder treatment together. So I was the dietitian, she was the trauma therapist. And so like that's how we met, became friends, and then exciting. Became lovers, right? So we're heavily aware of what not to do at the table, if you will, because we saw a bunch of different clients come through that brought in their families, and like there was one thing that continued to happen at the dinner table, and it was always that the dinner table was not a safe space, right? So whether it was the type of conversation or things that we're having, like it wasn't a safe space. The dinner table became a power struggle. So like there's all these things that I'm seeing. And even now, I find that in my, like, let's say with my little 9-year-old who's kind of just working out her relationship with food, sometimes I find myself being like, hey, I need you to have a balanced plate. And that's one thing that we always try to get across. And so if you're asking like, what should be on our plate? There's a lot of things that should be on our plate. But I think one thing that I really try to impose on our kids from a messaging standpoint is that there's no one food that's better than the others.
Right.
We work off of principles.
Right.
So if you were to ask my 9-year-old or even my 2.5-year-old right now, like, you know, what are you eating? What's on your plate? They're going to go through the formula. Do I have protein?
Right.
Do I have carbohydrates?
Right.
Do I have color on my plate?
Right.
Fruits and veggies, right? Do I have fat on my plate, right? And so like that's kind of the formula that they work off of. And we're never the type of family that is like anti-sugar or anything like that. And so like we try to do associations. So like my daughter loves Gatorade.
Right.
I don't tell her not to get it.
Right.
What I do is Gatorade's for recovery.
Right.
Right. And so like if she goes out, like she loves doing parkours. Like shout out to Playformance here locally.
Let's go. Yes.
So she does parkour. When she's done, she's like, "Hey Dad, can I have some Gatorade? I need to recover." And I'm like, "Dude, dope. Yes, let's go get some Gatorade." So like when we bring it back to the table, I think the bigger thing that I think parents need to understand is that the table needs to be a safe space. It is not the time where you are doing any sort of power struggling, arguing, nothing like that.
Right.
I think one of the simplest things that my wife and I have done is we've gotten like family question cards. So it becomes something that the kids look forward to. So that's the first thing is like we need to establish the safety. The second thing that we need to look at, and this goes back to what you were saying in regards to like eating food that are not going to make us fat. For any of us who think that, I think it's good for us to take a step back and is like, what is it about being fat that is scary? Because each and every one of us genetically are very, very different.
Right.
Right? We might look at someone else's body and be like, yo, that dude is jacked. And that dude who is jacked might also feel like they are fat.
Right.
So like, what is it about being fat that's so scary?
Right.
That's the first question we want to ask ourselves. The second thing is it that you're afraid of being fat or is it afraid that you're being unhealthy? Right? Because the two are very, very different. If we look at professional athletes right now, a lot of them are going to have a BMI over 30, which is clinically obese, right? That's a big thing right now in the U.S. People are constantly talking about that. But the hard thing about that is there's a lot of complexity and nuance when it comes to it. We don't know what their muscle mass or their bone density or anything looks like, right? We just know that the BMI, if we just look at it from the science, is 30. And if it's 30, any sort of doctor out there is going to diagnose obesity, and then you're going to get a consult with a dietitian like myself. I can't tell you how many times a parent would come in and like, okay, cool. Do you know why you're seeing me? Well, my doctor said I'm fat. It's like, okay. Did they say that? Or did they say that you've been diagnosed obese? I was like, well, I've been diagnosed obese. I'm like, cool. Do you know what that means? Right. And there's a lot of educating and a lot of like helping people to unravel what it feels like to feel fat, because being fat and feeling fat are very, very different.
Right.
And I think even from the standpoint, and listen, I'm very pro there's health at every size. Right. I know a lot of the fitness community hates that. I think the thing that they don't understand is not only their level of privilege. Right. So whether it is their privilege from experience or their thin privilege, because that is a real ass thing. Right. If you've never been in a bigger body, I don't think that you should be talking about people in bigger bodies then.
100%.
You know what I mean? So going back to the table, like we want to create safety. We want to start evaluating your relationship with states of mind. Do you know what I mean? So if you can do those things, then we can start addressing the plate. And I think, again, I feel like the GOAT diet, if you will, is the balanced plate model. Right. Or we call it the athlete's plate. Right. Where each and every one of your plates, quarter of that plate has protein, the other quarter of that plate has carbohydrates, and half of your plate has colorful fruits and veggies. Because you're addressing your macronutrients, which are your protein, your carbs, and then your fat. And then you're addressing your micronutrients, which are everything that's in the fruits and veggies. So I know it's a simplistic way of addressing it, but it's incredibly nuanced and complex because before we can address the balanced plate stuff, we have to address the stuff that I talked about earlier, because that's the baggage. That's the junk food that you actually need to detox yourself from, because that's going to be way more toxic to your kids than anything that you're going to put on their plate.
Right. And as a dad, like, it's my responsibility to clear my mindset, because for me, it goes back to trauma, and it turns into a state of thinking for me, right? Like when you talked about what's your fear of being fat, well, I saw portions of my dad, like, as tough as he was, he also would eat a Snickers bar in certain cases, which is okay, and he would drink soda in some cases, but then he would also have, like, to take insulin shots, and there was times where his body went off, and, like, so I only hold on to the negative experiences that I've seen that push me to now pay attention to more stuff, to know that if I follow that pattern, that seeing that we have the same blood, it could be the same for me, and I can pass that down to my kids, whether it's right or wrong. I don't know if I'm still making a meaning of it, right? But it's my job now to look at the plate and determine if there's too much of so-and-so in certain places.
So,
I'm glad I'm talking out loud. I'm just talking.
No, if it's okay if I can ask you this question, how'd your dad pass?
He, it was a sequence of events, and I think, like, I was pretty straightforward on his mentality went first, and so when he got injured, and this is how we got to, like, I don't want to get injured mindset. He got injured, and through the injury, he stopped working. He stopped having the, like, medical attention stuff that he needed, and then he started taking care of his own pain through outside sources.
Got it.
And that probably did 6 years of that before it was too fast, too hard. Yeah, like, it was the end of it.
Listen, I talked about how, like, we're a fear-based species.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We're not running from a fucking saber-tooth tiger anymore, right? We're running from, like, a Teams message or a meeting now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, the predator has changed, if you will. But the common denominator has stayed the same. And I think for you, that makes a lot of sense. You know, if getting injured, if your relationship with getting injured has been, I lost the man that I looked up to my whole life. Well, duh, like, you would, in your brain, like, I'm never going to get injured. Like, I'm going to do everything that I can. And so each and every one of us, and this is what I'm finding too, whether I'm talking to, shout out to the people in Southside Tucson. I was a community dietitian for about 3 years. Shout out to St. E's. I didn't grow up speaking Spanish. And so that first 3 years was kind of like my introduction to, you better figure this shit out, because 98% of my patients were only Spanish speaking. So I had to, like, really learn on the fly.
Right.
And now, like, I wouldn't say that I'm fluent, but I joke that my nutrition Spanish is on point.
Right.
Like my performance Spanish, because whether you're the mom who is doing the best that they can and you're coming to me, or whether you're the elite level athlete, each and every one of us have a relationship with health, fitness, their body, their nutrition, that are incredibly nuanced. And so when you're looking to maximize your efforts with change, I think if you have the ability to work with someone that can create something very structured for you, because we're very unique beings in that, like, we all have our past conditioning and our past baggage. Because even as you were talking this through, like, if I'm not listening to what you're saying, and I am someone who is just so egotistic, where I just want to educate you and tell you what to do, I would just shout a bunch of things, education points, without actually listening that, hey, I want to make sure that I stay ready so that I don't get hurt. So for me, as a performance dietitian, I'm already thinking about, dope, we have to really emphasize recovery. Right. And I have to give the education to you from the standpoint of, here's how you recover so that you can stay ready, essentially.
It hits the
hits
root.
Different.
The root,
exactly.
Like, that is the root of the belief system that's behind it. And granted, like it came from a certain place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like seeing it, but now rewriting it too. Like I've been working on. Thank you for sharing that, because that is important for people to see. I think if people don't take it serious right now, like what you just dropped right now,
Mm-hmm.
as far as recovery, like that is probably an area that I lack in.
Yeah.
And it is weird that the one thing that I don't want to do, like I also don't focus on the the steps to prevent it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's almost like a ticking time bomb to when it can come if I don't become aware and start implementing more recovery into my lifestyle, so that way I can get what I want, because I'm saying one thing but then doing other things, right? Which is like a misalignment, like
Mm-hmm.
of, and I'm just being honest with myself, because I think that's important to catch it and see it, because I can't change what I can't see. And having the open conversation with it right now is allowing me to see that if I don't add that into my regimen, then it's only a matter of time. Like if it does happen, like I can't be mad that it happened. Like I just have to know that I'm not I'm not preventing it.
Let me ask you a question, though, and this goes back to our original convo about misinformation and disinformation, which is incredibly hard.
Right.
Right. I consider myself very well versed, but even then, there's stuff that I see that I'm like, that looks pretty dope, but also looks like pseudoscience. When I say the word recovery, Steph, like, what do you think of? So if I'm asking, all right, no education, right?
Right.
If I'm like, Steph, you need to recover better. Go home and recover. Like, what are your first like 3 things that you're like, this is what I do for recovery?
That's a good fucking question. Like, I'm glad you hit it though, because like I think this is important. Like if people don't take you serious or your profession serious, like this is why it's important, because now you're actually listening to me. And for me, it would be like foam rolling, stretching. Like that's exactly what I think. An ice bath, like things that I know that
I was
I've
hoping
done
you'd say
before,
ice bath.
like stuff that I've done before that I know I need to do in order, because the way when you're talking about like if people don't understand like bodies, different bodies, like the way my body, like my torso's long, my legs are short. I get a lot of like hip pain and knee pain and stuff like that, or inflammation. I'll say that those parts feel like they can go sooner if I don't focus on them. So like being in an ice bath and putting on like, what are those squid legs that put air into it to like, those things have been helpful for me. Even just foam rolling or putting the Theragun on there and stretching, and those pieces to the puzzle are what recovery is to me. Because I know like water, rest, like mind off kind of stuff is important, like adding meditation, things like that. Like those are good places of recovery too. But then I'm really talking about like the physical recovery of what I just put my body through. Like, how are you going to, like, it's going to tighten up tomorrow? Are you going to be ready for it?
I'm so glad that we're talking about this, because everything that you just mentioned right there have been extremely marketable things.
Right.
And this is also to say, like, those are great recovery tools.
Right.
I fucking love that for you.
Right.
But the things that you just sort of like shoot away are the things that I would help you recover with. Those are things that I would help you to prioritize. The things that you just mentioned, that's a really good cherry on top. If you can do that, dope. The sleep thing, the nutrition thing, like those are the creme de la creme of what that looks like. And that looks different for every other person. Now, let me ask you another question, right? We just got the recovery piece. Most people can go perform. They also don't know that they've probably been performing and operating at like 50 to 60%, which sucks if you're looking at potential, right? You know, whether or not you feel like you're not, like you are. It just, for 100%. Most people, you're operating at 60%. And these are the reasons why.
Right.
So we just talked about recovery. Now, when I think about preparation, what do you think about?
I'll tell you what I like to do, what I think about. So this is me being honest with it. It is more of like getting up early, writing, reading, like getting focused on the day, because when I get there to the competition or whatever it is I'm doing, I got to be locked in for me. And if I have all the other stuff to worry about, that's when I lose it. That's when I throw the bar wrong or something. And that's where the injury comes. So I know that being locked in and being intentional in what I'm doing every second of it is important. And I've heard that also so much. Like that is my experience of it, but I also heard that like the reason why people aren't the best performers is the outside stuff that they do prior to, like what the way their gym bag is set up. Like,
yeah,
you got to know exactly where to execute at the same time. Like, you go there, get what you need, get back to your spot, and get focused. Like, that's where I'm at with it.
This is why I love this shit, because you understand what makes people tick, and that piece I think is the coolest thing. Because if I can probably ask this question to 10 different people, which as I'm thinking this out, like this would be fantastic to just start spitting with different people and make it a content series. Anyways, if I can ask these questions to 10 different people, I'm probably going to get 10 different answers.
Right.
Because you get to understand what means the most to someone. So in your case, the mental performance piece is probably the biggest priority because it's also the thing that probably cues you to take on different loads and lifting or take on different challenges in some of the classes or whatever, right? So like that's the priming thing for you. So the answer on my end is a whole lot less about like, here's what preparation looks like. Yeah, it's the nutrition. Yeah, it's different supplementation protocols. Like it's all these things. But I think right now what you just reminded me of is like incredibly like how unique each person approaches a challenge. Because most people don't think about recovery. Like they just don't. The preparation piece is probably a little bit easier to answer. But even doing this, I think it's so cool because for you, the priority or the value rather is mental performance. Right. Which I relate to. Like people, my nighttime routine and morning routines have changed. Like I think maybe when you and I connected last time, I was very much a part of the 5 a.m. club. Right. I was like, you get up, you meditate, you journal, you do all these things. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm just in a season of life right now with 2 kids. One, almost 3-year-old that doesn't like to sleep. So he's going through a sleep regression where my morning routine has become a lot more of my nighttime routine now, where you're going to think, oh, actually, you're probably going to get a good kick out of this because you're a dad. Right. My daughter got one of those like digital disco balls. Yeah. And so like I've been trying to incentivize my kids to like get in the fucking bath. Right. Like let's get this process started so I could take care of myself. So I've been throwing like raves for them. I turn the lights off and like I just throw raves in there and put on some music for them and they freaking love it. Well, I've started to do the same thing now where I'll put some calming music on. I'll put like the lights on there. The lights are off. I'll throw like some oils in there just to like give myself the opportunity. And then what I like to do, and this goes back to your point, just from the priming perspective, and people might think I'm a psychopath for this, but whatever. I throw on YouTube and I just go to sleep listening to like Jim Rohn's or the best speeches of just like, it helps to cue me subconsciously because left our own devices, like I said, we're fear-based species. What I do when fear comes around is I fight or I flight, which in some ways is a really good thing, but in most ways it sucks because me flighting means I'm procrastinating, I'm avoiding, I'm getting distracted, which I'm kind of in a season in my life where I'm about a month into rebuilding my nutrition empire after leaving Red Bull, where I'm like, I can't afford to have off days, if you will. Like I got to stack days, and that's kind of where I'm at. And I think for most people, I think that piece is really influential, where if you know how you like to operate and it feels really good, like in your case, it's a good example. Mentally, you know how to get yourself primed because it's going to help you go perform. But maybe the opportunity for you is just like the recovery process. If you're trying to like maximize your efforts around staying in the game. Right. I think one of my favorite quotables that I don't know where I heard this from, but I use it with any athlete or any artist that I work with, is if your best ability is your availability, then we have to help to make you available. And you're not available if you're injured. Right. So I think it probably speaks to you too.
I just got my back cracked and everything. I got stiff. Like,
but yeah, man, like this is why I love these conversations. I love what I do because everyone is a different puzzle piece. I think as humans, I just think that's fucking special.
It's so deep, man. Like it is so real. Like especially what you just mentioned about like not being available. Like if I wasn't available for a podcast because my knee is out or back is out, which like you don't get the best of me. You get
you get 50% of me.
My plate is cut in half. Yeah. And the
Callback.
part of it's down there.
Yeah.
You know, thinking about my knee and like of all this, and it puts me in this place of lack, in this place of like this negative mindset. Like I go so far with it, which in a way, it is also a blessing on why I'm aware and I pay attention and I do what I do to maintain what I have or to build what I have, because I know that longevity is important. That's why I'm open to having the conversation. I'm open to looking at myself in the mirror. And those are uncomfortable places for me. But it's if I don't do that, the price I pay could be my grandkids.
Yeah.
Right? They could see me and pay. They could think getting old is scary.
Yeah.
And I can paint the picture of that.
Dude, I share that too. I really do. You know, I look at my father-in-law, who doesn't look like he's in his 70s. Like, the dude plays fucking pickleball every single day.
Love that.
I hate playing him.
Yeah.
He kills me. He makes me look so stupid. And I'm so much of a better athlete than you are. Don't forget that. But like, he's someone that doesn't look like he's 70. He stays super active. Like, he's just a killer.
Right.
So I look at those people. So like, I think to a larger degree, I think if we can all just stay the best version of ourselves from the standpoint of like best version of your own athlete, I think a lot of health ailments and a lot of things fall away if, in the simplest of ways, you get that VO2 max up. Like, get your body's ability to produce and turn over oxygen, get a stronger heart, because you're just a better athlete. Right. So I think in most cases, and that's how I gamify things with health with people.
Right.
It's like, let me make you a better athlete.
Right.
You don't think of yourself as an athlete, but you know what? I'm going to make you think like an athlete.
Which, for me, that resonates because in order to add recovery, I have to see myself as an athlete, because now an athlete needs to recover.
100%.
Therefore, when I communicate like to my athletic ability, like even adding those words together, streamlining them in my dialogue was my athletic ability, like as an athlete. Like, so now I'm bringing it, using it, and you know, it's a part of me now, like that I'm an athlete. Like, I think with CrossFit, like, I can be trying to prove to myself, or in wrestling, prove to myself, but at the same time, it's more of just being okay with, like, I am an athlete.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. Like, I don't have to feel ashamed or be the best to prove that I am an athlete. Like, I'm
Bro, that's for everyone. That's honestly for everyone. Like, listen, if you're listening to this, take that piece.
That's powerful.
You are an athlete, whether or not you like to think about it.
Right.
Yes, we're all different, varying levels of degrees of athletes. Like, I get that, but I love what you had just said. If I'm thinking like an athlete, how do I prepare? Because how I prepare impacts how I perform, and how I recover impacts how I prepare and perform the next day. So it's like, it's a cyclical nature. So I love that you put that together right now.
Right. That's why I said I think it's important to do what we do here, because if there's anything more raw and real, it is using a real scenario, right? And me getting, like, it's such an opportunity for me to be a guinea pig out here. Like, this is not a platform for me to be the know-all, be-all. It's going back to being the bridge. And if I'm the test dummy that goes down the bridge, like, I'm willing to take that on, so that way not only I can grow, but other people can in the process through me. Like, it's through my trial and tribulation of what I learned from it that can be the spark of, like, man, I really have to see myself as an athlete. Like, even just that term now was so powerful in adding it and playing a game of and not or. Like, like I can be a top-notch loan officer, father, wrestling coach, athlete in itself, like, and do it all. Like, it is, I got one life here. Like, this body I want to see go out to 85, 90, you know, like, my wife, my in-law, what is it? Not my father-in-law, but her dad. Great-grandparent through my wife. Yeah. He just passed at 94, man. But, like, 94 is long, I think. Like, I think that's good longevity of any.
I want to see 100, but there's kind of a caveat here. I want to see 100, but it really depends on what my wife is doing. I don't want to, like, live without my person. Like I'm chill.
I guess goes back to the
You know what I mean? Like,
healthy household, right? Because
Yeah.
you're trying to push 100 out for everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's a mindset in itself. Like when they say go 100, like does it mean go balls to wall till you last to 54, or does it mean go 100 longevity?
bro.
Like let me see you hit 100 years, and if you can do it with your family, like it's not you do 100 and then your wife do 87. You know, like that's some boring years by yourself.
Yeah.
And also, like how much of a leader and contributor could you be at home? Like you get to live with some like regret of like, damn,
It's not a good look if you're going 100, but your kids are getting 25 of you. Like it's just not. It's not a good look. And your spouse is, or your person rather, is getting an additional 10%. Like it's not a good look. You're not going 100. You're actually just doing something for yourself, and it's really selfish.
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
That was deep. That was deep as stuff, man. So I know that we wanted to go into like a lot more food. I think we just peaked an hour on
We did?
Yeah. Going through that. And I know there was like value and nuggets there, and like it seemed like we were going to go into a lot more food, but I think what we went into was powerful because we just did a session in itself.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, dude, I hope it was. I mean, I got time if we want to do like a rapid fire type of thing.
Yes,
like,
let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's turn it into
let's go rapid fire.
A segment.
I'm actually really enjoying, because I just got a new computer because my old one crapped out, and these little redwoods, the redwoods are a special place for me and my fam because we lived to camp there, and I'm like, this is nice. I'm not changing this.
Yes. Yeah, and it's calming, cool.
Yeah.
The greens match for me, but it also is for me. Like I go, if I hit some breath work or meditation and I do it in the woods, like in the forest, like that for me is like there's something like
It's the ultimate reset, dude.
It is. It is.
If you feel yourself getting bogged down by the world, go fucking camping.
Go camping, take your shoes off, put it in the ground. Like,
yeah. Make sure all of your electronics die.
Right.
And go camp.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to hit a little segment here while we have the man, the myth, the legend in my eyes, because he brings so much value to me, and it will always be like that, and I can only go based on my experience. Rapid fire questions on some general nutrition in the household. So I'm going to go as quick as I can with my reading and just bullet through shot for shot and see how we go.
Cool.
What are some of the healthiest foods that most people already have in their kitchen?
Bro, shout out to the staples. Let's go through the balanced plate that I think most people forget. We'll start with carbs, beans and rice. Okay. Dude, shout out to Latinos out there. Yep. We have it right. Don't let the doctors or anyone tell you that carbs are bad. No, they are amazing for you.
Let's go.
Right? So like I'm going to say shelf staples right there off the bat.
Right.
Things that people probably have on hand, and if you don't, then you definitely should, is 3 to 4 different colors of fruits and veggies in your fridge at all times. Like that just maximizes variety. Right. And if we maximize variety, then we also maximize the vitamins and minerals that are going into the gut. Listen, all of this, you're always trying to diversify your microbiome. And the way that you do that is you eat a diverse range of foods. Right. In regards to protein, I'm going to go kind of 2 things now. Don't be afraid of the plant proteins. I know a lot of people shit on tofu. Right. Tofu's dope. Right. Get the hell out of here with that. But if you're not the tofu type, then we'll go back to beans because that's a really great plant protein source. That's right. On the animal protein, I think most people probably have like the poultry or fish. I'm a huge salmon fan because of what it does to your brain. So I'm gonna throw salmon in there. But if you have chicken, and shout out to beef. If you want to have that a couple times here and there, it's actually a really great source of iron. So, and also different types of things are going to help you sustain and create muscle. So I'm going to say those things right there. And then in regards to hydration, don't sleep on water.
Speaking of that, what was this running saying that you and the kids have? You either hydrate or dihydrate? Yeah. Let's go.
I actually can't take that. Shout out to my boy Tony Castillo. He actually he's another sports RD up in Florida. That's his thing. He's Captain Dihydrate. But yeah, hydrate or dihydrate. But I got my 8-year-old. She's been saying that since she was 5.
That's
dude.
it. I think I got it in my household. Like here, they know what I'm talking about.
Like hydrate or dihydrate.
Yeah, exactly it. Exactly it. There you have it. Let's do. What are some of the most common foods that people think are healthy but really aren't?
Listen, I know that like a really big thing right now is sugar-free everything, and I'm not gonna shit on non-nutritive sweeteners. They definitely have their place, but even then, like sugars have their place. And like we talked about Gatorade being a recovery beverage. Like right now, there's a lot of products out there, especially in the recovery space, that preach replenishment, but they don't have enough sodium and they don't have the one key ingredient that helps to bring the electrolytes in and out of the cell, and that is carbohydrates. That's sugars. So for me, you know, if you find yourself getting a sugar-free, hydration supplement, you're not doing what the body needs. So if you want to just plow through sodium, in like the element ones are a good example. Like there's like 5 to almost 1,000 milligrams per serving of sodium. Listen, unless you're doing a 100-mile race in the freaking desert, you don't need that much sodium. You just did a freaking Pilates class. Chill out. Sprinkle a little bit of salt on your food. So I'm gonna say that. I'm sure there's some other things too, but I'm also team, ultra processed food, because I'm a dad. I'm busy. Sometimes the freaking perfect bar that I get is like the thing that's gonna be my damn lunch for right now. Like, chill out.
100%, 100%. Good stuff. How can people make simple, nutritious meals with just pantry staples?
Like I said, I think it'll go back to the question that you had beforehand, where it's like the pantry staples should emulate the balanced plate model. So the types of proteins that you have, if you want to get different types of plant proteins, different animal proteins, maybe some fish, perfect example. In regards to your carbohydrates, I already gave a shout out to beans and rice. If you want to go beyond that, I'm going to say bread, cereals, like all of those have their place. All of them do. And then beyond that, different colors of fruits and vegetables to have on hand. You can make yourself a really dope balanced plate. I think probably one of the easiest meals that my family and I make, where we're like, damn, we're going through it, is we'll literally do some of the plant-based burgers. I found a bun that actually is like 12 grams of fiber, which shout out to, I think it's Nature's Way that has it, because most Americans don't get above 12 grams of fiber, which is crazy. Right? Men need 38, women need 25. And so just in that bun, like I said, I'm getting 12. And if I throw some veggies in there, like I'm almost meeting my day's range. So we'll do that. We'll mix in a salad. We'll put fries on our table. Like everything's on the table, if you will, but it still follows the same parameters. That balanced plate.
Balanced plate, and it comes back to like what you put on. It's
exactly.
How many fries? Do you fill the table up, or do you put a portion?
Exactly. Yeah. So like again, the fries are the carbohydrates. So that's going to take up a quarter of the plate. It's not taking up, an additional plate.
This one's interesting. What are some of the underrated household foods that people should eat more often?
Underrated household foods that people should eat more often. Let's give a shout out to the microbiome here, because there's a brain and gut connection that most people don't know and or don't talk about enough. I'm gonna say fermented foods. I've been on a kimchi kick later. I forgot how much I love kimchi, but the fact that it's also a fermented food and great for my microbiome makes me love it even more. Same thing with yogurts. Same thing with cottage cheese. So I'm gonna go ahead and say fermented foods. Like we all have those in our refrigerator. Most of us probably have some fermented foods because you're not actually going through your fridge and getting things out the way that you need to. But like that might be a reminder. When's the last time you cleaned your fridge? Go clean that shit.
Clean your fridge, man. Clean your fridge. That's a clean fridge is a clean mind.
Yeah.
Let's go. This little area here, it is focused on questions that came in around meal planning.
Okay.
What should people look for when reading nutrition labels on common grocery items?
Really good question. Listen, I know that there's like a really big trend right now that's like, if you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. I always kind of push back where I'm like, most of us can't really pronounce normal vitamins, like niacinamide. If I said that to you and asked you to spell it, a lot of you would be like, wait, what? So I would push the brakes on that. But I think when we're looking at the nutrition label, I help people to understand first a couple key factors. One is notice the serving size, because sometimes the serving size is going to give you a nutrition label that's like, this is per serving. There's 2 servings in this. So you might crush the whole thing. You're like, oh, I only had 200 calories. Well, that was actually 3 servings in that bag. So your 200 just became, whatever, 600, right? So like that stuff matters. So first off is like educate yourself on the portion. If calories matter to you, you can definitely look at the calories, but I would push them to look beyond that. What's the protein say? What's the fiber say? And if you're someone who is just trying to prioritize watching your blood sugars, what does the added sugar say? Like those are the things that I would look at first, because the carbohydrates, if you have high blood pressure, you definitely want to look at the sodium. So like there is a lot of nuance when it comes to this, but if I'm helping you to understand like 3 things you want to be thinking about, I'm going to say, look at the serving size, understand what it is. I'm going to say your protein, I'm going to say your fiber, and then a 4th and runner up, which, all of my dietitians out there are probably like, yo, what the fuck? Your vitamins and minerals, like that's going to play a really big role too.
Dang. I think you knocked out a couple questions with that. That was a powerful.
Good.
That was good. How can someone eat healthy on a budget without relying on processed foods?
Oh shit. Anyone seen the price of fruit, veggies, and eggs so far? With new leadership?
Yeah, that is a tough place.
All right, so let's answer this in 2 ways.
Okay.
When we say processed foods, the beans and rice that I just gave a shout out to is considered a processed food because it is processed.
Okay.
And I think when most people think of processed foods, they think of ultra processed foods. So foods that have, your classic examples, usually what you're probably going to get in a gas station grocery store, if you will. Like the protein bars that people love, the chips, like those are things that people think, that's a good example of ultra processed food.
Right.
The hard part about this is that, generally speaking, ultra processed food compared to fresh food is much cheaper. Right. So given your budget, I literally just wrote about this. It's been interesting because I'm a regular contributor with Men's Health Magazine as their nutrition advisor. And so like, I feel like all I've been writing about right now is like why ultra processed foods are actually a really good choice given your time and resources. So I went through like, here are the 10 best foods right now, or brands rather, that are really going into adding protein to their products. Right. And so for me, if not eating ultra processed foods is really, really important to you, that's okay. And at the same time, if keeping things within a budget is also really important to you, there's going to be a little bit of conflict, right? So if you want to source all of your food from your home, have your own ranch, have your own garden, like that's my heaven personally, right? That'd be dope as hell. I'm not there. Most of us aren't. So I think to a larger degree, we have to be okay with consuming processed foods and be aware of the complexities of a Snickers bar compared to a protein bar is much different, right? If you're eating a protein bar because you need some protein and you need some other things, that's a great option. Now, if you're eating a Snickers bar just because you want something sweet, then like, are you hungry? Are you emotional? What's going on? You know what I mean? So I honestly, to answer that question, like there's a little bit of conflict, but I would say what's more important to you? Is it budget or is it not eating processed foods? And if you can't answer that question, then that's a little bit of a conundrum.
That's a good way that you put that right now too, as far as like to think about what you're thinking about, right? And ask yourself the question. So if I pick up a Snickers bar, I just told you my father ate Snickers bars. And
I think that's why that was in the brain right
100%.
now.
So then now I can think about like, all right, dude, like, what do you need, a hug right now? Like, be honest with yourself. Like,
or here's the other thing, Steph, like, do you miss your dad?
Yeah. Like, that's okay?
That might be okay. I think one of my favorite client stories that I had is like, they came in and they're like, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. All I've been doing is eating McDonald's and I can't stop binging on it. And like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, okay, well, what is it about McDonald's for you? Like, do you love the taste? Do you love the environment? And like, I hate the environment and I hate the taste. And I was like, Why do you eat it? Well, my family and I, like the one day that we used to have together, like we used to like go to McDonald's and we would sit there as a family. Like that was our only family time because there was a lot of shit happening throughout the week and there was a lot of violence and stuff. And like that was the one time that we all got together. I was like, okay. And I was like, is this recent that you're just eating McDonald's? She's like, well, it's like in the last 6 months, like I've probably eaten it every day. And I'm like, all right, what's happened in the last 6 months? Well, my sister passed away, lost my mom this last year, and my dad and I aren't in good terms after a fight that we got into. And I was like, was the fight also recent? She's like, yeah, probably like last 6 months. I was like, let me float something over to you real quick. Right? If we want to think about food as the bridge to connection, because that's what it is. Right. We always think about like breaking bread with someone, like it's the bridge to connection. Right. I was like, it seems like you've, acquired a lot of loss in the last 6 months to a year. She's like, yeah, I have. And I was like, that also seems really painful. She's like, yeah. I was like, you also told me that McDonald's used to be like an environment for you where it's like the only time your family got together. So I don't really have an issue with you eating McDonald's right now. Like, I think you're probably just feeling a lot of grief, and McDonald's is reminding you of your family. I'm like, that blew her mind. And I'm like sitting there and I'm like, damn, like,
just accept it. Right?
Just, yeah, like we all have those. Yeah. So like Steph, I would push back, dude, release the power of the Snickers and just be like, I miss my fucking dad right now. I'm going to go have a Snickers. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of us have these moments with food where instead of overthinking it, of being black and white, like I should and shouldn't do this, we're humans and really complex. Ask yourself the question, what am I feeling right now? And I think that piece right there provides a lot more safety and compassion and empathy to be like, I miss my dad right now, or I miss so and so, or like I'm feeling this, I'm gonna go do this, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, it opened up a lot of doorways as well to like my household at home. Like when we go out to eat or something, like I know my wife's family went out to eat when she was a kid, and it brought like happy place. So I see when she wants to go out to eat, like I can start paying attention to like, all right, where's she at?
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Exactly. Like, oh, I know for my wife, it's wanting to be outside, camping, hiking. Yeah. Like I have to start being aware of like when she says stuff like that, it's like, all right, I need to check in with her. Like, hey, you good? Can I do anything? No, you just want to be outside? All right, cool.
I think that's intense. Like people just want and need to feel connected. Yeah. Like, and that is a way, like when you ask questions, people feel like you care. And then once you care, like, you're like, damn, I'm connecting.
100%.
That's deep. That's deep. Yeah. Well, thank you for that. I would say I love this role in life that I get to play. Learning and growing. Like this is it for me. This next section is debunking food myths.
Okay.
There's only a couple, so we'll blow through them. Is frozen produce as healthy as fresh?
Let me answer your question logically, and then I'll go feelings. Logically, frozen produce gets flash frozen at its peak of nutrition. So yes, frozen food generally is healthier than fresh because the fresh going through the production process, it starts to denature some things here and there. But like honestly, like it's splitting hairs. Who cares? If you're doing either one, like dope. Right. Keep doing it. Right. Generally speaking too, your frozen is probably going to be a little bit more budget friendly than the fresh. One thing I will say is conventional foods are totally okay. Organic is not worth it.
Okay, that was straightforward. Are canned foods bad for you? That was a interesting way that question was put.
Yeah, yeah. So the reason my hesitation is there's nuance. If you are someone who has blood pressure issues, the one way that they keep food, especially in canned foods, is sodium. That's how they keep it. That's the curing process. That's why bacon tastes so great. It's because it's been cured with a ton of sodium. Oh. So I will say that if it's something that is a priority for you and you have high blood pressure, like it's something you want to watch out for. But at the same time, you can find canned foods that have less sodium or again, shout out to beans again. You can rinse your beans if you need to. So like, there's definitely some things that you can do. There's some really budget friendly hacks that you can take for yourself. If you are trying to prioritize certain things. But like I said, my hesitation is not like, it's not bad for you. However, maybe you shouldn't be having the canned pozole or menudo if you're taking blood pressure medication.
100%.
Like maybe some other things.
You got to think about it. This is the last question. I think it's a good one. Is it better to cook with butter, olive oil, or any other alternative?
God damn it.
Welcome to...
God damn it.
We're in Tucson, man.
I love it. I love it. What is better? Let's discuss inflammation.
Let's go.
You're going to experience more inflammation with the use of butter versus the use of olive oil, because the olive oil is considered an anti-inflammatory food, if you will. So my quick answer is you're better off with olive oil. At the same time, though, I work off of this 80-20 guideline where 80% of the time the expectation is that you're preparing, performing, and recovering to the best of your ability. The other 20% is just like life. You have an off day, you go to a party.
Eat a Snicker bar.
Like, the U of A ASU game last night got done at like 11:45. So I'm not sleeping well last night. Like, it fucking sucks. So like, that's just like one of those days. So if 80% of the time you are doing olive oil and you want to throw some bacon down or you want to throw some butter down to like prime the pan for your pancakes on Saturday, dope. More power to you. You want to throw butter in the mashed potatoes that you're making, dope. Do it. So 80% of the time, olive oil, 20%, dude, long live butter.
I think that's important. Like, we will cap off on that, but I think that's an important concept to know that, like, we're striving to be our best versions, right? But at the same time, there's that 20% of that human, like, if your grandma cooked a certain way and you want to have it that way with that lard or whatever it is that you're doing,
dude.
like, it's okay. Like, you're being cautious, like, mindful of it, and you're doing it, like, you're being intentional. And you're choosing to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's important too. It's like, all right, if I'm gonna walk this bridge, like, I'm gonna smile while I do it.
Yeah.
Instead of beat myself up, right? Or
100%.
not know the answer of why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Like, it's more of like, all right, I'm walking this path and I'm excited about it.
This is dope. Like, I'm enjoying my food.
Yeah.
Listen, I think the bigger thing that you want to get across for most people is that the types of foods, the amount of foods, like, those things definitely matter. Your relationship with food and your food enjoyment is going to be a much more of a determining factor around your success, around your health and your performance than anything else. So if you got some food things, and most of us do, just call a spade a spade, and you don't know how to work through it on your own, this is where professionals come in.
Right. You hear that, ladies and gentlemen, the value, if you didn't get it right now, like, just understand that this is our life. This is our body. This is our mind. Like, it's important to pay attention to it. If not, we go into insanity, and that's repeating the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Why we feel stuck, why we feel frustrated, why we feel depressed comes from not having a solution to the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not our job to know everything. However, it is our job to be aware and find the solutions to our problems. Dezi has been a gift for me, and he can be a gift for you in any way, shape, or form that he can. Dezi, if somebody wanted to reach out to you for any kind of problem-solving skill, what would be the best way?
I'm just gonna do the creator thing. You can catch me at Dietitian Dez on TikTok and IG. Go into my link in bio, and you can see some of the different ways that you can engage. I Can't Believe I Made a podcast where I am the host. We talk about the habits and rituals of high-level athletes, entrepreneurs, and creatives. And beyond that, happy to send over my contact info in the show notes. If something comes up, you have a question. Listen, I'm an open book at this point. I got time. Whereas before, I did not. Like, I have time now to understand what my community needs. So if it is just like a quick 10-minute convo of like, I got questions, Des, like, like I said, like I got time.
Listen, he peeled back some deep stuff that I work on like pretty quick. And we spent an hour here together. And like I'm blessed to have that opportunity. And if he's not already in your algorithm, like this is what we have to be doing. We have to be changing our algorithms of life, the energies that we're attracting and pulling in. If we keep the negative stuff that are keeping us in those lower mindsets that we have, then we're going to continue to get that. Or if we start reaching out, find Dezi's podcast, find his TikTok, you follow that, you subscribe to that. That is you fighting for your future, fighting for your family, fighting for your health. Most importantly, we can't change the world without changing ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen.
Bars.
It's the Master of Me podcast, Dezi. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure, bro.